scriptures say. You gotta believe in the prophecies. Don't let distractions get in your way. We're spreading truth and we really work hard, cause we know we'll soon be home. Don't you know you're never alone? So tell me what are you crying for when we got the Most High?
Yeah, we got the Most High, man.
Oh, we got the Most High.
That's all we need.
Hey.
He got our back. Say,
the Most High woke you up this morning. He gave you breath to breathe. He let you see another day and gave you some food to eat.
right.
We got a lot to be thankful for while these prophecies unfold. We got these scriptures as our guide, and our future's already foretold. I'm still confused on why my people don't have no faith in the Most High. No faith. They sit around looking sad, and complain on everything is so bad.
All right, man.
They have no joy. They have no joy. And their peace is gone.
Gone.
And the peace is gone.
We got the Most High, so we gonna be cool. You know what I'm saying?
I'm looking at my people. Some looking down with their heads hung low. I'm listening to some sad people say they're giving up and how they done lost hope. We keep them coming and they won't be long. Let me show you what the scriptures say. You gotta believe in the prophecies. Don't let distractions get in your way. We're spreading truth and we really work hard, cause we know we'll soon be home.
Home real soon.
Don't you know you're never alone? So tell me what are you crying for? We got the Most High.
We got the Most High, man. You know that?
Oh, we got the Most High.
That's all we need. It's our Heavenly Father.
Hey.
He got this.
Woo. The Most High has always had our backs against these other nations. There ain't nothing they can do to us. Yeshaya is coming with destruction. We got a kingdom coming real soon. While this whole world is headed for doom, it's already prophesied in the scriptures. These other nations gon' lose. I'm still confused on why my people don't have no faith in the Most High. No faith. They sit around looking sad, and complain on everything is so bad. They have no joy, and their peace is gone, Some looking down with their heads hung low. They got their heads low. To some sad people say
Get your heads up.
How they done lost hope. Who keep them coming and it won't be long.
Give up,
Show
man.
me what the scriptures say. You gotta believe in the prophecies. Don't let distractions get in your way. We're spreading truth and we really work hard. Cause we know we'll soon be home. Don't you know you're never alone? So tell me what are you crying for when we got the Most High? Oh, we got the Most High. Hey.
I don't want to touch this.
Pull it to the side. It broke? Oh, the camera or the chair?
No, the camera.
Oh. Just slide it up. Just slide it up here. Just slide it up. Yeah, closer. Alright, so I'm start with Psalms 1. Yeah. Moving out. Way to go, Octavo. That means I caught again now.
It was just there.
You sure? When you go live, you sure? You said, yo, I actually clicked on camera. You said what?
When I clicked on the camera, he popped up. Then the camera went out.
Go back to OBS. And then the other one. Right. It's starting soon. Go back to that.
I mean, what you got to see is this.
Something like that.
When these other nations hurt or kill any Hebrew Israelite brother or sister, the Most High come through and destroy a whole city of another nation. Somewhere in the world, they getting jacked up. He ain't coming back just for one. I'm looking at my people. Gonna get a whole lot of them. Some looking down with their heads hung low. I'm listening to some sad people say they're giving up and how they lost hope. The kingdom coming and they won't be long. Let me show you what the scriptures say. You gotta believe in the prophecies. Don't let distractions get in your way. We're spreading truth and we really work hard. Cause we know we'll soon be home. Don't you know you're never alone? So tell me what
Ready? Alright, shalom, shalom, Shabbat shalom, Kwam Yasharallah. All praises to the Most High, all Israel, Banyamyan Yasharallah, shalom, shalom. A lovely, nice Shabbat day. I can give all praises to the Most High and to water Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai for his blessings and for his mercy endure forever. Yes, Israel, shalom. All right, before I start off with class and everything, I just want to give a little introduction and things that's coming up. Coming up, Israel, July 28 to July 30, we have the Mashara Yasharallah in Delaware. All right, it's going to be in Delaware this summer. All right, it's going to be from Friday to Sunday. All right, it's going to be a $15 donation. $15 donation to come in at the door. Send your donations to help out. All right, it's going to be a beautiful occasion. Israel, be there. It's going to be in Delaware. All right, July 28 to July 30. All right, Israel. Then also on June 17, we're having a unity camp in D.C., Washington, D.C., June 17. All right, so that's some of the basic information going out. And we're going to proceed with our class. But before I start my class, I want to go into the Psalms. And today's Shabbat is going to be a random. I'm going to flow with the Spirit, whatever the Spirit showed me to bring out. Prophecies, of course, that's number one on the list. Current events and certain things that's taking place in the earth. And our salvation is near, Israel, man. Our salvation is near, all right? The sojourning of our time in exile, in captivity is coming to an end, all right? And it's time for us to give praise and glory to the Most High, all right? It's going to begin a new chapter, a new beginning. But before this happened, Yahweh Shai has to come back and set the order amongst Israel. Because a lot of heads in Israel is going to be busted wide open, and a lot of heads is going to roll when Yahweh Shai returns. When we get in that wilderness, the Most High says he's going to purge the rebels. It's going to be a lot of our people put to death, all right? The Most High is going to clean house, all right? The Most High has to clean house and get Israel in order, because we have to represent the Most High at all levels of righteousness. So before that can happen, the Most High has to clean house, all right? And house is going to be clean. And when the Most High does it, nobody does it better than the Most High, all right? So we're going to give all praise to the Most High, and we're going to jump into it. So I'm good to go, right? All right, so I'm going to start off. With Psalms 111. All right, Psalms 111. Can you listen, audience out there in the live chat? Can you hear me? If you hear me, give me a shout out. Give me a thumbs up. Say Kwam Yasharallah. All right? All right, so Psalms 111. So we good to go? All right, Psalms 111. Psalms 111, and we're going to begin from the first verse.
Psalms 111, the first verse. Praise ye the Lord. I will praise the Lord with my whole heart in the assembly of the upright and in the congregation.
Right, so we're going to praise the Most High, right? We're going to praise the Most High with our whole heart in the assembly of the upright and in the congregation. We're going to praise the Most High. Continue.
2. The works of the Lord are great, sought out of all them that have pleasure therein.
That's right. Khan, go ahead.
His work is honorable and glorious, and his righteousness endureth forever.
Right, so the Most High work is honorable and is glorious, and his righteousness endureth forever. Continue.
4. He had made his wonderful works to be remembered. The Lord is gracious and full of compassion.
See, the Most High is
Gracious.
he's gracious, man, and full of compassion. All right? The Most High gives us a chance to repent and turn from our wicked and evil ways, man. And that's a glorious thing when you're given a chance to repent and turn from your wicked ways, man. All right? Go ahead.
5. He had given meat unto them that fear him. He will ever be mindful of his covenant.
Right, and the Most High will be ever mindful of his covenant that he made with our forefathers, with Abraham, with Isaac, with Jacob, the covenant he made with David. The Most High is going to be faithful forever with his covenant. All right, continue.
He had showed his people the power of his works.
And he did. The Most High have shown his people the power of his works, and he's going to show it all over again. Okay, continue.
That he may give them the heritage of the heathen.
Right, and he's going to give us the heritage of the heathens. We're going to inherit all the riches of the heathens. Continue.
7. The works of his hands are verity and judgment. Salakia. All his commandments are sure.
And all his commandments are sure. Go ahead.
8. They stand fast forever and ever, and are done in truth and uprightness. He sent redemption unto his people. He had commanded his covenant forever.
See, the Most High has commanded his covenant forever. Ever. Just like the Most High said, just like the sun and the moon that he made, that's going to be forever of an everlasting covenant. Let me give you an example of that. Hold that real quick. Let's go to Jeremiah 33, Yehoda. I want to show you something in Jeremiah 33. The Most High said, just like he made the sun and the moon, and he put them in the heavens. Let me give you a time. Jeremiah 33. And I want you to read here Jeremiah 33 and start from the 19th verse.
Jeremiah 33 and 19. And the word of the Lord came unto Jeremiah, saying.
So the word of the Most High came unto Jeremiah the prophet, saying. All right, go ahead.
Thus saith the Lord.
Thus saith the Most High. Who is saying this? The Most High is saying this. Go ahead.
If ye can break my covenant of the day.
So the Most High said, if you could break my covenant of the day. Okay? If any man could break that covenant of the day. All right, go ahead.
And my covenant of the night, and that there should not be day and night in their seasons, then may also my covenant be broken with David, my servant.
See what the Most High said? Then may also my covenant be broken with David, my servant. Then the Most High said, then I'll break the covenant that I made with David. And that's not going to happen. Go ahead.
That he should not have a son to reign upon his throne, and with the Levites, the priests, my ministers.
And the Levites going to have back their position as being priests. All right? The ministers of the Most High. Go ahead.
22. As the host of heaven cannot be numbered.
So the Most High said, as the hosts of heaven cannot be numbered. The stars, the constellations, it cannot be numbered. Go ahead.
Neither the sand of the sea
Neither
measured.
the sand of the sea measured. You can't measure the sand of the sea. All right, go ahead.
So will I multiply the seed of David, my servant, and the Levites that minister unto me. Moreover, the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah, saying, Considerest thou not what this people have spoken?
So the Most High said, considerest thou not what this people have spoken? Who is this people? The nations. This is what the nations are saying. So the Most High said, consider this, what they have spoken. Go ahead.
Saying, the two families which the Lord had chosen.
The two families, Judah and Israel, the northern and the southern kingdom. Go ahead.
He had even cast them off.
The Most High is saying the Most High cast away his people. That's what the Christians teach. All right? That's what you apologetic Christians teach. You teach the children of Israel, the Israelites are no more. Everybody's God's people. That's a blatant lie. And you're going to pay for that. Okay? Go ahead.
Thus they despise my people.
And they despise the Most High people. Go ahead.
That they should be no more a nation before them.
And that's the desire of all the people of the earth. That the nation of Israel be no more a nation before the Most High. But like I said before, nobody's going to stop what's coming. What's coming is a Hebrew Israelite vibration. Okay? This train is coming. Okay? And this is not an 1850 locomotive train. Okay? This is what is called a high-tech, Acela, fast-moving bullet train. And this train is moving with super speed of 350 miles per hour. And nothing is going to stop this train from heading to Zion. Okay? So, like I said before, you either get on board or you're going to get run over. Continue.
25. Thus saith the Lord, if my covenant be not with day and night.
So the Most High said, if his covenant is not with day and night, the sun, the moon, daylight, night, if that covenant is not there no more, go ahead.
And if I have not appointed the ordinances of heaven and earth, then will I cast away the seed of Jacob.
So the Most High said, he said, then will I cast away the seed of Jacob. Okay? The seed of Jacob, the offspring, all right? The generations. Go ahead.
And David, my servant, so that I will not take any of his seed.
So the Most High keep telling about that seed. He will not take any of his seed. All right, go ahead.
To be rulers over the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. For I will cause their captivity to return and have mercy on them.
And the Most High is going to cause our captivity to return, meaning he's going to bring us out of captivity. All right? And he said, and I will have mercy on them. Let's go back to Psalms 111. And we left off in
I think it was 8.
Yeah, the 8th verse. Yeah.
Okay. Psalms 111 and verse 8. They stand fast forever and ever, and are done in truth and uprightness. He sent redemption unto his people. He had commanded his covenant forever. Holy and reverent is his name.
Right, so he has commanded his covenant forever. All right, go ahead.
10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever.
That's kind, and his praise endured forever. All right, so I want to touch on something that that Ash and I taught about 2 weeks ago concerning Nebuchadnezzar, how the Most High uses kings, rulers, and people to rule the earth, and how the Most High used Nebuchadnezzar to take down all the nations and establish Nebuchadnezzar to rule the earth. This is nothing new at the Most High. The Most High been doing this since the beginning of times, all right? Even this beast that's ruling this so-called European, what you want to call him, Caucasian, the minority, whatever you want to call him, Even this beast, the Most High set him up to rule this earth. Okay? And the Most High appointed him to rule up over all nations of this earth, even against us as a people. The Most High set him up to rule. And he was used to punish us for our rebelliousness and our stiff-heartedness. The Most High used this beast to rule the earth. And in times, when his time of his end come, the Most High is going to use us to punish him and to reestablish this earth in righteousness. The Most High uses men, nations, and people to rule this earth. All right? And this is what we have to learn and understand. When the Most High said, let's go to the book of Daniel, the 4th chapter. Daniel 4 and 17. Daniel, the 4th chapter and the 17th verse.
Daniel 4 and verse 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men.
See that? So it says, this matter is by the decree of the watchers. The watchers are the angels. All right? And the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. How does he do that? The Most High does it by using his invisible power to use men and nations to rule this earth. He put that power in their hands, in their control. Right? You're not seeing the Most High physically doing it, but spiritually, he put that power into the hands and control of nations to rule the earth. Even with this beast today. This beast is ruling the earth because of the power of the Most High, not in his own accord. Okay? Read that verse again now, Yahweh.
Okay. Daniel 4 chapter and verse 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men.
The Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. Go ahead.
And giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the beast, the beset of men.
The basis of
the basis of men.
So the Most High could put up the lowest scum bucket of the earth to rule this earth. The most feeble, the most insignificant to rule the earth once he put that power in their hands. And that's what he did to all nations. I'm going to give you an example of what he did to Nebuchadnezzar. And he used Nebuchadnezzar. And Nebuchadnezzar was such a bad dude, man. When you want to talk about a real gangster, that's Nebuchadnezzar. That's the epitome and the word of a true gangster. Okay? The Most High said, Nebuchadnezzar, you are my servant. I'm going to use you to take all nations down. Okay? And that's what the Most High did. And the Most High used him to take all nations down, to show the power of the Most High, that he runs and controls this earth.
God.
And at the end of that, the Most High punished Nebuchadnezzar and his kingdom by using the Persian Empire. That's how bad the Most High is. I want to show you something. We're going to go back to Ezekiel. All right? Let's go back to Ezekiel. Now, I want to touch on some prophecies concerning how the Most High uses nations and people to rule this earth. All right? Let's go back to Ezekiel, the 29th chapter. All right? Ezekiel 29. And when Asha and I taught the class, we showed you how Nebuchadnezzar took down Egypt. And Egypt was never a powerful kingdom, or rulership when Nebuchadnezzar took it down. After Nebuchadnezzar took down Egypt, that was it for Egypt. Egypt was no more a strong ruling entity in the earth when Nebuchadnezzar came and took it down. So let's go back to that Ezekiel 29. right? Ezekiel 29, and start from the 9th verse.
Ezekiel 29 and verse 9. And the land of Egypt shall be desolate and waste, and they shall know that I am the Lord, because he have said, the river is mine.
And that's what the Pharaoh said. All the Pharaoh said, the river is mine. I'm the God. I'm the God of Egypt. They boasted of their pomp and their arrogancy. All right, continue.
And I have made it.
And that's what they said. I have made the river. But you didn't make the river. The Most High made the river. Continue.
Behold, therefore I am against thee and against thy rivers, and I will make the land of Egypt utterly waste and desolate.
And it became waste and desolate when Nebuchadnezzar came and took Egypt down. Continue.
From the tower of Sinai even unto the border of Ethiopia.
Ethiopia.
No foot of man shall pass through it, no foot of beast shall pass through it, neither shall it be inhabited 40 years.
So those 40 years that Nebuchadnezzar controlled Egypt, it was not inhabited. All right? Continue.
Okay. And I will make the land of Egypt desolate in the midst of the countries that are desolate, and her cities among the city that are laid waste shall the desolate 40 years.
Shall be desolate
40 years.
All right. Go ahead.
And I will scatter the Egyptians.
So the Most High scattered the Egyptians. They were scattered throughout the different countries throughout Africa, mainly the Sudan, all right? Different parts of Egypt. Some probably were scattered into West Africa, but the majority of them were scattered all throughout the Sudan, all right? Maybe parts of Libya, okay? Probably some down in Ethiopia, some down in Uganda, but they were scattered. All right? Go ahead.
Among the nations, and I will disperse them through the countries. Yet, thus saith the Lord, power. At the end of the 40 years will I gather the Egyptians from the people, whether they were scattered.
So the Most High gathered them back from where they were scattered amongst the people. Go ahead.
And I will bring again the captivity of Egypt, and I will cause them to return into the land of Pithor.
So he caused them to return into the land of Pathros, but not as a ruling empire. Okay? They were slaves, peasants. Continue.
Into the land of their habitation, and they shall be there a base kingdom.
And there was there a base kingdom, a low kingdom. Okay? They became a low kingdom. Continue.
It shall be the basis of the kingdoms. Neither shall it exalt itself any more above the nations, for I will diminish them.
And the Most High diminished Egypt. Go ahead.
That they shall no more rule over the nations.
Go ahead.
And it shall be no more to the confidence of the house of Israel.
Right, because the children of Israel made Egypt their confidence. They used to trust in Egypt. Okay, the philosophy, the way of life of Egypt, the gods of Egypt. They made Egypt their confidence. All right, go ahead.
Which bringeth their iniquity to remembrance, when they shall look after them. But they shall know that I am the Lord power. And it shall come to pass in the 7th and 20th year, in the 1st month, in the 1st day of the month, the word of the Lord shall come unto me, saying, Son of man, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon.
See he's saying now, son of man, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, go ahead,
caused his army to serve a great service against Tarshish. Tyrus.
All right, so Nebuchadnezzar fought against Tyrus, and he had a hard fight to take down Tyrus. So the Most High said for the hard fight that he had against Tyrus, the Most High was going to give him Egypt for his ransom, for the hard work that he did. Continue, read on.
Every head was made bald, and every shoulder was peeled. Yet had he no wages, none, nor his army. For Tyrus was the service that he had served against it.
So Tyrus was his service that he served against it. All right? Go ahead.
Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, behold, I will give the land to Egypt I will give the land of Egypt unto Nebuchadnezzar.
The Most High said, I will give the land of Egypt unto Nebuchadnezzar, showing you how the Most High gives power and rulership to nations, how he take down nations. All right? Read that verse again.
Okay. Verse 19. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, behold, I will give the land of Egypt unto Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and he shall take her multitude and take her spoil.
What is a nation's spoil? Their riches. So when Nebuchadnezzar came into Egypt, he took Egypt's spoils and riches. All right? Continue.
And take her prey, and it shall be the wages for his army.
And that was the wages for his army. That's how he was able to pay his army, by taking the riches of Egypt. Because when you have an army, you got to pay your soldiers.
Come.
And when you have an army, that's a large army. That's a lot of soldiers to pay. Okay? So the wages he got from his spoils he got from Egypt, that was used to pay for his army. Okay? Continue.
I have given him the land of Egypt.
What it says? Read again.
I have given him the land of Egypt.
The Most High gave him the land of Egypt. Just like the Most High gave this devil the rulership of the earth today. Some people say, well, what kind of God is that? Why would he allow this wicked man to rule? The Most High did it for a reason, to show you who the wicked is, who the devil is, and why he did it, to show his power. And also he did it to punish us, because we weren't nice people. We were some bad children.
Done.
We were wicked and corrupt too.
That's
so the
right.
Most High said, you know what? I'm going to use the wicked of the earth to punish you. And guess what? I'm going to put him up to rule the earth. I'm going to let you be angry and jealous of the fact that he's ruling. But the Most High said, at the end of that, I'm going to bring him down. I'm going to bring him down. That's the power of the Most High. Continue.
I have given him the land of Egypt for his labor, wherewith he served against it, because they worked for me.
See, they was doing the Most High's bidding. Okay, go ahead.
Saith the Lord power. In that day will I cause the horn of the house of Israel to bud forth, and I will give thee the opening of the mouth in the midst of them, and they shall know that I am the Lord.
Okay, now go over here now to the 30th chapter. All right? And start here from, I'll tell you what, read the first verse. Start from the first verse.
Okay. Ezekiel.
The reason why I'm doing this here, I'm building up to a point to show you how the Most High uses nations to rule the earth in a set appointed time. Okay? Nobody rules this earth unless the Most High gives them the power to rule the earth. You just can't get up and usurp yourself and say, I'm going to rule the earth. It doesn't work like that. You must be given the authority and the power of the Most High to rule this earth, whether in righteousness or in wickedness. All right? So start from Ezekiel 30 and 1.
Ezekiel 30 and verse 1. The word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy and say, Thus saith the Lord power. How? Woe, what the day? For the day is near, even the day of the Lord is near. A cloudy day, it shall be the time of the heathen.
It's going to be the time of the heathen. Okay? And that's the time we live in right now too, the time of the heathen.
Son.
Okay? It's going to be the time of their judgment. Continue.
4. And the sword shall come upon Egypt, and great pain shall be in Ethiopia, when the slain shall fall in Egypt, and they shall take away their multitude, and her foundations shall be broken down.
Right, and all the foundations were broken down. Continue.
5. Ethiopia and Libya and Lydia and all the mingled people and Cherub and the men of the land that is in Lagos.
That's in league.
In league shall fall with them by the sword.
Right, and you bring up today's standards. All the nations that are in league with Esau, the Edomites today, they're gonna fall too. Okay? So if you were in cahoots with any nations back then, when the Most High was bringing their judgment, you fell with that nation. And any nation today that's in league with America, or what you call alliances, or what you call, what's the term they use today? Not treaty, but when nations are working with you together, there's a term they use. Alliance is another word, but I'm going to use alliance. Okay? Allies. Right. Allies, that's the word. When you're allies with a nation, you're going to fall with that main superpower. Just like in World War II. America were allies with many nations during World War II to fight against Germany. And they so-called they defeated Germany. Okay? Continue.
6. Thus saith the Lord, they also that uphold Egypt shall fall.
See? So back then, anybody that was upholding Egypt, they fell with Egypt. Now, bring up to today's standard, anybody today upholding this modern day Egypt, you're going to fall too. All right? Go ahead.
And the pride of her power shall come down.
See? And the pride of her power shall come down. Now, this might seem trivial, like, nah, Banyamyan, you can't use that. But everything that happens in a kingdom or society is based or predicated on what's going to happen to a nation. Who saw a couple days ago when Biden was coming from the White House and they claim he stumbled and fell over a sandbag? Anybody saw that? You saw that, right? A couple months back, he was walking up an Air Force One and he stumbled and fell. Some months prior to that, he was riding a bicycle, he fell off the bicycle. How the hell you fell off the bicycle? Those are all signs of showing you what? That a kingdom or a nation is going to fall. When your leaders are falling all the time, those are signs that your kingdom is coming down. You're on your way down.
Makes sense.
Babylon is falling. Okay? They even had a commercial. I'm falling and I can't get up. that commercial is a real commercial. That's what's going to happen to America. Okay? So these are all signs that America is falling. Okay? And he's too old. He needs to sit down, man. He's too damn old. Sit down. I know Trump going to have a field day now, boy. Okay? He needs to sit down. He's too old, man. Okay? But those are signs. Another sign, too. I remember when when George Bush went to Iraq, and he was speaking in Iraq, and one of the Iraqi took off his shoes and threw it at George Bush. That's an embarrassing thing, man. When somebody throws their shoes at you, that shows you that your kingdom is falling. Okay? The Most High tell you in the scripture, when a man, in the scripture, an Israelite man doesn't want to take on of being a brother to his brother that died and become to raise up seed to his brother, the Most High said the woman was supposed to take off her shoe and throw it at him. All right? Throwing that shoe is an example of your kingdom coming down. Especially at a leader. Who the hell throws their shoes at a leader? Where was your, what's the people called? The Secret Service man. Where was there to stop and see that? And Bush was so quick, he ducked too.
Right.
He
right.
ducked
got
that
out the
shit.
way.
He ducked.
Right.
But that's a sign showing you when that happens, your kingdom is falling. Mm-hmm. Okay? So let's go back to this verse here. It might seem insignificant, but it all ties in. These are all prophetic things that are happening. Okay?
Ezekiel 30:6. Thus saith the Lord, they also that uphold Egypt shall fall, and the pride of her power shall come down.
See, and the pride of her power shall come down. Go ahead.
From the tower of Sion shall they fall in it by the sword, saith the Lord power. And they shall be desolate in the midst of the countries that are desolate. And her cities shall be in the midst of the cities that are wasted. And they shall know that I am the Lord, when I have set a fire in Egypt, and when all her helpers shall be destroyed.
The same thing is going to happen over on this side. All of our people that want to join to this country, they're going to serve the same punishment that the Most High is going to bring. So that's why the Most High said, come out of her, my people.
God.
Okay? Go ahead.
9. In that day shall messengers go forth from me in ships to make the careless Ethiopians afraid, and great pain shall come upon them, as in the day of Egypt, for lo, it cometh.
For lo, it cometh. Go ahead.
10. Thus saith the Lord power, I will also make the multitude of Egypt to cease by the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon.
So Nebuchadnezzar made Egypt to cease from being a nation and a powerful kingdom. When he came into Egypt, he took Egypt down, took down the rulers, took the spoil, took the riches, all right? And this only add more impetus to the fact that Cleopatra could have not been an Egyptian, okay? Because when Nebuchadnezzar came and he took over Egypt, he ruled in Egypt. Then right after him, the Persians came and ruled for another 200 years. Then right after the Persians, the Greeks came and ruled for another 300 years. So that's 500, almost 600 years of foreign rulers taking over Egypt.
God.
Beginning with Nebuchadnezzar. All right? And when the Romans came in, forget it. All right? So continue.
11. He and his people with him, the terrible of the nations, shall be brought to destroy the land, and they shall draw their swords against Egypt and fill the land with the slain.
That's what they did. They killed many Egyptians when they took over Egypt. That's what armies do. Continue.
12. And I will make the rivers dry and sell the land into the hand of the wicked, and I will make the land waste and all that is therein by the hand of strangers.
Okay, now jump down here to the 21st verse now. Now I'm showing you now how the Most High works in the spiritual realm to use nations and men to do his bidding. Jump down to 21.
21. Son of man, I have broken the arm of Pharaoh, king of Egypt.
So the Most High said, Son of man, I have broken the arm of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. How did the Most High break his arm? Spiritually. How did he do it physically? By using Nebuchadnezzar. All right, continue.
Okay. In Egypt. And lo, it shall not be bound up to be healed, to put a roller to bind it, to make it strong, to hold the sword. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, behold, I am against Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and will break his arms, the strong and that which was broken, and I will cause the sword to fall out of his hand.
So the Most High took away his power and the will to fight. Okay? So the Most High put the power in Nebuchadnezzar and took the power out of the king of Egypt from being a strong force to fight. And that's what the Most High did to this white man when he took over this earth. The Most High put the power in his hand to take the nations down. Continue.
23. And I will scatter the Egyptians among the nations, and will disperse them through the countries.
So the Egyptians are not in Egypt ruling today. The true native Egyptians are not in Egypt ruling. Okay? The people that's in Egypt ruling are a bunch of Ottoman, Turkish, Arab babies
Edomites.
in Egypt. Okay? They're not the true Egyptians. And they're mad as hell because the truth is coming out. But they're not the true native Egyptians, okay?
Gone.
They came there like maybe about 800, 900 years ago. Okay? They're not the true native Egyptians. Continue.
24. And I will strengthen the arms of the king of Babylon.
So the Most High said, and I will strengthen the arms of the king of Babylon. Go ahead.
And put my sword in his
And
hand.
the Most High said, I'm going to put my sword in his hand. The Most High put the might and power in his hand. Okay? That's why the Most High said, you're my servant, Nebuchadnezzar. Continue.
But I will break Pharaoh's arms, and he shall groan before him with the groanings of a deadly wounded man. 25. But I will strengthen the arms of the king of Babylon, and the arms of Pharaoh shall fall down, and they shall know that I am the Lord, when I shall put my sword into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he shall stretch it out upon the land of Egypt. And I will scatter the Egyptians among the nations and disperse them among the countries, and they shall know that I am the Lord.
So there's a proof right there. The Egyptians are not in Egypt ruling today.
Khan,
Okay?
Khan.
This is the historical and prophetic prophecy of Egypt.
That's right.
The people in Egypt today are not the true native Egyptians.
Khan.
But then you have up here say, but then, who then are the native Egyptians? It's gonna be us, the black men in America. No. No. Okay? Now, lose that. Go to Psalms, the 17th chapter. I want to share something in Psalms, the 17th chapter. Because all the prophets, kings, and rulers knew this. That the Most High rules in the kingdom of men. Psalms, the 17th chapter. And start from the first verse. We want to read this whole chapter. Right?
Psalms 17 and 1.
But the key verses we want to highlight is from the 14th verse. So let's start from the top.
Okay. Psalm 17 and verse 1. Hear the right, O Lord. Attend unto my cry. Give ear unto my prayer, that goeth not out of fringed lips.
Feigned
lips.
Right.
Fringed lips.
Feigned. You know what's feigned lips? Feigned. What it mean to be feigned? Anybody know what the word feigned mean? That goeth not out of feigned lips. Right. Not sincere. All right? So hear the right, O Most High. Attend unto my cry. Give ear unto my prayer, that goeth not out of feigned lips. So when you pray to the Most High, you have to be sincere and honest. I'm going to be praying to the Most High just talking a bunch of garbage. Oh, Most High, you know I need money, blah, 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 blah. No. Come to the Most High in a humble and a contrite spirit, man. And the first thing you do when you pray, you acknowledge to the Most High that He is the supreme power and glory, and give the Most High praise and honor. Then acknowledge, O Most High, forgive me, for I am a sinner, and ask for repentance, man. Don't go before the Most High like you're some big shot. When you go before the Most High, man, you have to humble yourself, man. Acknowledge that the Most High is the power, man. Yes.
sincere and respectful.
Right, sincere and respectful. All right? So that's what we have to do. When we go before the Most High, always acknowledge the Most High is the power. And acknowledge that, man, that we messed up. And ask for repentance and forgiveness, man. And when you did that, then you ask the Most High for your daily needs. Because the Most High said, ask, and it shall be given unto you. You understand? The Most High is our Father. So if you need certain things, ask the Most High. But before you do that, before you make that petition, you acknowledge that the Most High is the power and that we have sinned against the Most High. Then when you get that clear with the Most High, then you can ask the Most High, listen, Most High, you know, I need a better job. I need a job where I don't have to work on the Sabbath. You ask the Most High, say, Most High, I need some money because I'm broke. And ask the Most High. You say, Banyamyan going off. Now, let me show you. Hold that. All right? Go ahead to make your petition known to the Most High. I think it's Philippians. Let me show you 1 second. Bear with me 1 second. The Most High know what we need, but you got to tell the Most High sometimes, you know what I mean? You got to talk to the Most High. Let him know, like, Most High, I'm struggling. I'm busted. I need some bread. All right, I think it's Philippians. Give me 1 second. Philippians. I used to read the scripture a lot.
Philippians 6, 4 and 6.
Right, that's it. Yeah, that's it, my man. All right, read Philippians 4 and 6.
Philippians 6, 4 and 6.
I'll tell you what, start from the 4th verse.
Philippians 4 and 4?
Yeah.
Philippians 4, verse 4. Rejoice in the Lord always. And again I say rejoice.
And again I say rejoice. All right, go ahead.
Let your moderation be known unto all men. The Lord is at hand. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication.
But in everything by prayer. All right, go ahead.
And supplication with thanksgiving. Let your requests be made known unto the Most High.
Let your requests be made known unto the Most High. What is a request? You asking for something.
Desire.
You know what I'm saying? You desire, you asking, you requesting, oh Most High. You ask the Most High. And then Yahweh Shai said, by prayer, when you believe, all things that you believe and pray for, it shall be granted unto you. All right? Read the verse again.
Okay. For 4?
Yeah, 6, yeah.
6, okay. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto the Most High.
Read 7 too.
And the peace of the Most High, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Yahushua.
All right. Okay, now go to Matthew's, and then go back to Psalms. Go to Matthew's 21. Matthew's 21, 22.
Matthew's 21 and verse 22. Yahushua answered.
No, Matthew's 21 and 22.
Matthew's 21 and, that's 21. Okay, 22. And all things whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer.
So what he says, and all things whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer. All right, go ahead.
Believing,
Go ahead.
ye shall receive.
You shall receive. Pray, ask, and it shall be given unto you. All right? You gotta ask. All right? So let's go back to Psalm 17.
Psalm 17. Okay. Psalm 17, verse 2. Let my sentence come forth from thy presence. Let thine eyes behold the things that are equal. 3. Thou hast proved my heart. Thou hast visited me in the night, and hast tried me, and shall find nothing. I am proposed that my mouth shall not transgress. Concerning the words of men, by the word of thy lips, I have kept me from the path of the destroyer.
And who's the destroyer? The death angels that the Most High will send. That's the destroyer. All right? Go ahead.
5. Hold up my goings in thy path.
See what David said? Hold up my goings in thy path. All right? Go ahead.
That my footsteps slip not. I have called upon thee, for thou wilt hear me, O power. Incline thine ear unto me, and hear my speech.
See? So David was rapping to the Most High. He was talking to the Most High. All right? We got to talk to the Most High too. Most High is our big papa. He's our father. All right? When you have a father, sometimes you talk to him. You go and talk to your father, right? But I know what us as a nation, we've been so
Wicked.
destroyed, no fathers. You understand? So like, father? My father ain't been here. I'm going to talk to him. So that's like a big disappointment. But when you grow up in a household with a father and a mother, it's a whole different outcome in life, man. It's totally different. You understand? The confidence and the love and the positive vibes that instill into you, the morals that's instilled in you with both parents in a household is a strong foundation, man. It's a powerful thing. You understand? When you have a father in the household where you could talk to your father, you might get mad with him, but you come back and you sit and you talk to your father, he listens to you. Fathers will listen, but fathers are more stern in things that they do and say towards their children. But a father still loves his children. The mother will put up more of the children's stupidity. But the father, like, listen, once, he ain't telling you 2 and 3 times. Mommy will say, boy, don't do that, boy. Child. Father said, listen, where's the belt? And he starts wailing. You understand? But if you sit and talk to your father, he will talk to you. He'll rap to you. You understand? But he's going to give you that rough, true love. You understand? A mother takes more time. A mother gives good love too. Because a mother goes through the long way, she explains to you, sonny boy, and she'll start talking to you. She'll tell you about what her mother told her grandmother, and she will nourish you. She'll give you that comforting words. It'll make you think down the line. But the father, he ain't going for that crap. But when he's in a good mood, you could go and talk to him, and then he will talk to you about certain things and everything. But a father is more stern and rougher. Doesn't take much crap. But then sometimes too, the father loves the girls more, sometimes more than the sons. So the girls will run, daddy, 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 daddy. Come, sweetheart. What's the problem, sweetheart? Then the boys will go to mommy. Cause mommy cooked the good food that I like. You understand? And the girls go to daddy because daddy could understand. You're like, okay, what's the problem? So a father shows like more compassion
Sympathetic, yeah.
to the daughter.
Yeah.
And the daughter likes that. My daddy. My daddy. My daddy. That's my daddy. Proud of that. You understand? And you're supposed to be proud of your daddy and your father, your mother, your parents. Because that's a strong foundation, man. You understand? And notice a lot of people that grew up with both parents in the household, man, you rarely see that problem of them being in and out of the jail system. Not saying it doesn't happen, but you don't see it as much if a person comes from a single household. When they come from a single household, it's like a wreck, man. Even though the mother did her best, but that household is a wreck, man. Somebody have their hand up? No. All right. So go ahead.
Verse 7. Show thy marvelous loving kindness, O thou that savest by thy right hand, them which put their trust in thee from those that rise up against them.
All right. So now David's going to show you the power of the wicked that the Most High established in the earth. David knew this, and we have to know this too. So people want to know, but why is a white man ruling? Why is he ruling so long? Why the Most High doesn't get rid of him? Yes, the Most High is going to get rid of him, but he was put there for a purpose. Nothing is done by coincidence or a mishap. Everything has a specific reason by the Most High. The Most High said he made the wicked even for the day of evil. The Most High made the wicked. All right? So continue reading on.
8. Keep me as the apple of thy eye.
So what David said, he said, keep me as the apple of thy eye. All right? Because David knew something. Okay, go ahead.
Hide me under the shadow of thy wings.
He said, hide me under the shadow of thy wings. Protect me. Okay? Because David knew the wicked has its purpose in the earth. All right? You cannot have negativity without positive or vice versa. When you start a car, you must have what? The negative and the positive. When you have a battery, you must have a negative and a positive. Okay? You must have night and you must have day.
Con.
You must have good and you must have evil.
Con.
That's how the Most High made his creation, for a purpose. Okay? Continue.
9. From the wicked that oppress me.
See? From the wicked that oppress me. Go ahead.
From my deadly enemies.
From my deadly enemies. Go ahead.
Who compass me about.
So David knew this. He knew he had deadly enemies that compass him about. Go ahead.
They are enclosed in their own fat.
And what is their fat? Their riches, their wealth. Okay, continue.
With their mouth they speak proudly.
So how do they speak proudly? With their mouth they speak proudly. Give me some examples of how they speak proudly. You don't know. Give me some examples. How does the wicked speak proudly?
I'm a king, I got money.
That's true, yes, what else?
I think their kingdom will never end.
Right. God bless America. You don't like it? Leave it. This is the greatest country in the face of the world. You understand? We have the greatest democracy on the face of the earth. If it wasn't for America, damn it, you'll be a third world nation. They speak lofty, they speak proudly, and look down on everybody else. A banana republic. Okay? We have the greatest educational system, the greatest democracy. Everybody wants to come to America. They speak proudly. We started civilization. Without us, there wouldn't be no people on the earth with the greatest technology that you have seen. Look at this. We made the cars. We made the trains. We made flying planes so people could travel faster. Before you had to take a boat, it would take you days and months. Now you could be in England in the space of 6 hours. Our technology. They boast. They talk proudly. There's no God. The Big Bang Theory. All that foolishness. Evolution. Okay? And the biggest thing they're pushing out here now is that transgender garbage. That garbage is running rampant, man. Okay? And they try to pollute your young children with that garbage in the school. They're teaching that crap. There was a sister showing you. She went in Target and she was filming in Target, and she said, look at these people. See what they're projecting? They let baby clothes, transgender, and all this stuff. From a little children, they're pushing that crap and all the clothing wear. And she was saying, we got to stop shopping in these stores. See what they're doing? They're pushing that transgender garbage to our children. Yeah, you have it up.
And they were saying on the news today that they're taking out the King James Version Bible out the schools because they said there's too much violence in there. There's things in there that children shouldn't
The
hear.
truth is coming out. The truth is pouring out. That's why. So they're gonna put all the stuff out because they want to push their agenda. See, Satan has an agenda, and he's going to target the young children first. You put that nonsense into their minds from a young age, and by the time they get to high school or junior high, Mommy, see, I'm transgender. Where that came from? You didn't teach them that,
God.
but they're being taught that crap in school.
Right.
That molds the children's minds. They're preparing their minds to accept that garbage.
God.
That's why this place has to burn. It has to burn. And anybody try to stop it, you're going down with it. This place is going to burn, baby, burn. It has to burn. Continue.
Okay, 11. They have now compassed us in our steps.
See what David said? They have now compassed us in our steps. How have they compassed us in our steps? Now they're ruling. Now they're claiming to be the people of the Most High. We're the Jewish people. The land of Israel belongs to us. You blacks have no part in that. But the Most High is exposing all their lies. All their lies are being exposed now, man. Okay, continue.
They have set their eyes bowing down to the earth.
Give an example of that. It said they have set their eyes bowing down to the earth. What does that mean? They look at you and scorn you. You know when a person is on top, how they look down? Oh, you peasant, look at you. They scorn you. They look at you like, oh my, he's so stink. Oh, go take a bath. They scorn you and talk a lot of trash against you. Look at these people. What are they, savages? Then they go all over the world traveling and looking at people and, oh, look at them. There's such misery, such a tragic lifestyle. When they're the reason why most of the earth is in the condition that it is. Why do you think the people in South America is coming to America? Because America and the CIA went in there and robbed that country of its riches. Okay?
God.
So now the people are coming here now looking for work and a better life.
That's right.
10 years ago, Venezuela was the biggest exporter of oil. How the hell Venezuela is not exporting oil or exporting oil no more? Everybody's leaving Venezuela and coming to America. What the hell happened? The American government and the CIA went in there to overthrow Chavez. And they killed Chavez too. Okay? Turn that country upside down. Undermine the country. And they've been doing that for years. For over hundreds of years.
That's right.
Okay? So the reason why countries are poor is because of them. They rob countries, stole their resources and wealth. I want to know why people coming to America. All right? Go ahead.
Okay, 12. Like as a lion that is greedy of her prey, and as it were a young lion lurking in secret places. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down.
See what David said? Arise, O Most High, disappoint him, cast him down. Go ahead.
Deliver my soul from the wicked.
He said, deliver my soul from the wicked,
which is thy sword.
which is thy sword. The Most High uses nations as his sword, just like he did with Nebuchadnezzar against Egypt.
God.
And the Most High is using this beast as his sword today. Until the Most High is ready to dispose of him. David knew this, that the wicked is the Most High's sword in the earth.
God.
All right? Go ahead.
14. From the men which are thy hand.
See? From men which are thy hand. So that's how the Most High works. When the Most High says he ruleth in the kingdom of men, he uses his power and put it in the power of the rulers of the earth to do his bidding. Whether on the left hand or on the right hand. That's how the Most High rules in the kingdom of men. We can't see it, but the Most High does it spiritually. And the physical outcome are the people that he uses to do his bidding. And we show you an example of that of Nebuchadnezzar. All right? Hold that and go to Jeremiah 27. Jeremiah, come back to Psalms 19. Jeremiah 27. And we're going to start, let me see, start from the top. Jeremiah 27 and 1.
Jeremiah 27 and verse 1. In the beginning of the reign of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah.
So these were the kings of Judah, all right? You had Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, all right? This was the southern kingdom, the kingdom of Judah, all right? Now, Nebuchadnezzar was coming on the scene, all right? Go ahead.
Came this word unto Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, Thus saith the Lord to me, Make thee bounds and yokes, and put them upon thy neck.
Make thee bonds and yokes. Make slave collars. All right, go ahead.
And send them to the king of Edom, and to the king of Moab, and to the king of the Amorites, and to the king of Tarshish, Tyrus, and to the king of Zidon, by the hand of the messengers which came to Jerusalem unto Zedekiah, king of Judah.
So Zedekiah was the last king of Judah.
God.
All right, and Nebuchadnezzar killed his sons right before him and plucked his eyes out, took his eyes out.
God.
Now, was Nebuchadnezzar justified in what he did? They said, gosh, that's cruel, that's wicked. Yes, he was justifying what he did. The Most High used him to punish us, man. And he plucked his eyes out, took his eyes out. And you know, back then, they did it viciously, man. It wasn't no easy way of doing it. They held you down, got that knife, plucked the eye out, man, took it out. They didn't give a damn out you scream. Took your eye out, man. Okay? When they cut a finger off, put your finger there. Cut that finger off. It wasn't no anesthesia. Okay? When they chop your head off, they chop your head off, man. Back in the ancient world, it was cruel and vicious, man. When nations took nations down, it was vicious. Okay? When the Assyrians took us down, they used to impale us, man. Hang us up on a stake. Hang you up, impale you, man. Okay? Nations were vicious back then. That's why Esau came up today, what he called what? When you go to war, Esau came up with a term he uses when you go to war. And you can't use certain tactics in Everybody know what the term he used? When Esau goes to war, right, is a term he uses that certain things you cannot do to certain soldiers and warriors on the battlefield. And he came up with it during, right after World War I. Everybody know the term that he uses? Yeah, Karazarkat. Rules of engagement. The United Nations rules a charter of how you treat soldiers. Right? He came up with that because the way nations used to engage and treat other warriors on the battlefield, it was brutish. It was brutal, man. There wasn't no mercy. So he came up, especially in Vietnam, he used that in Vietnam because when he went to Vietnam, those Vietnamese was putting hell on his behind, man. Okay? So he came up with that United Nations Charter on the rules of engagement and how to engage and fight against soldiers on the battlefield. Certain limitations that you can do and certain things you can't do. All right? So he mainly used that to protect his behind. Right? But when he was doing it to other nations, he didn't create the United Nations Geneva Convention. Right? Because even Haile Selassie went to plead with Geneva Convention when they was bombing Haile Selassie with the mustard gas. There was gas in Haile Selassie, man. Haile Selassie petitioned to all of them to stop, and they just ignored him. All right? The French, the Italians, the British, they all went along with what the Italians did because they gassed Haile Selassie and his army over in Ethiopia, man, with mustard gas, man. Yeah.
Rules of engagement. When did that come into effect?
I think they came like
After World War I?
I think after World War One, or yeah, around that year, because Haile Selassie fought against the Italians in 18-something. Mussolini, against Mussolini. And that's when he went to the Geneva Convention to plead against them for what they was doing. They was gassing his soldiers, man. Thousands of them got killed on the battlefield, man. They would fly over their planes and they would drop those mustard gas and poison them, man. You understand? And Haile Selassie went to plead to France and Britain to the Geneva Convention against what they was doing, and all of them turned a blind eye. Then Haile Selassie said, what you're doing to me, in 5 years, it's going to be done to you. And in 5 years' time, Germany turned against all of them. You understand? So he prophesied something against them that came to pass.
God.
Because after that, Germany turned against all of them. You understand? So they make these rules of engagement to protect their behinds. You understand? But when it comes to other nations, they don't care about that. Because they did a lot of dirt to a lot of people, man. When they took this land from the Indians, man, what they did to them, it was savage. It was savagery.
God.
Okay? So, back in the ancient world, nations were brutal when it came against nations, man. So when Nebuchadnezzar bound Zedekiah and killed his sons before his eyes, they killed his sons. They would chop his head off, man. Chop his sons off. They didn't care. Because the Most High brought Nebuchadnezzar against us to punish us. And the Most High wanted Zedekiah to see that. Because he was disobedient and rebellious. So Nebuchadnezzar just got his soldiers, take his damn eye out. Just blind him. You understand? He probably was screaming and crying out. But the Most High didn't hear his prayers. That was the Most High using Nebuchadnezzar to punish us. Yes.
And so with us, with Esau.
Yeah, the Most High
slavery.
used this devil to punish us too.
He plucked out an eye, cut a foot off, cut a hand off.
Branded us. He did everything to us, man. Fed us to crack alligators. You understand? Made our skin, took our skin and made our shoes and leather, all kind of stuff. Then he would eat us, called the delectable Negroes. Make shoes out of our skin. Devil got a lot to pay for, man. That's why the Most High said in the end, they're going to pay double. They're going to get double for what they did. Okay, continue.
4. And commanded them to say unto their masters, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the power of Israel, thus shall ye say unto your masters, I have made the earth.
So the Most High said, I have made the earth. This is the Most High speaking to Jeremiah. I have made the earth. Go ahead.
The man and the beast that are upon the
The
ground.
Most High said, I made man and the beast. Go ahead.
By my great power and by my outstretched arm, and have given it unto whom it seemed meet unto me.
So the Most High said, I give the earth unto whom it seemeth meet unto me. I do that. You don't do that. I do that. I allow you to reign and rule in the earth, not your own power or your self-appointed power to rule. Okay, go ahead.
6. And now have I given all these lands unto the hand of Nebuchadnezzar.
So the Most High said, all these lands I have given into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar. Go ahead.
My servant, and the beast and the best.
Read it again.
Huh?
Read 6 again.
And now have I given all these lands into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant, and the beast of the field have I given him also to serve him.
Most High said, I have given the beasts of the field to serve him. So meaning all the animals is going to be subject unto him too. Even the wild lions is going to be subject to him too. All right, go ahead.
7, and all nations shall serve him,
See?
and his son, and his son's son.
See? His
Until
son,
the
his grandson, his grandsons. Okay, go ahead.
until the very time of his land come. And then many nations and great kings shall serve themselves of him. And it shall come to pass that the nation and kingdom which will not serve the same Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, and that will not put their neck under the yoke.
And that's what Israel trying to do. I ain't serving no king of Babylon. You know what we could get? I ain't serving no damn Nebuchadnezzar. Most High said, you're going to serve him. And they were telling the others, no, don't serve king of Babylon. Don't do it. Don't do it. Came up with their false prophets. You're going to be better off. But the Most High told Jeremiah, he said, go serve the king of Babylon. Go ahead.
Okay. And that will not put their neck under the yoke of the king of Babylon, that nation will I punish.
See, the Most High said, that nation will I punish. Egypt had the same idea. Hell no. And the Most High sent Nebuchadnezzar down in Egypt. He sent Nebuchadnezzar against all, especially the first person on the hit list was Israel. The Most High said, go and get those stiff-headed, rebellious Negroes. Go in there and nail their behind. Okay? I want you to bring a severe judgment upon them and show them that I sent you. And when that happened, we knew it came from the Most High. Right? Even when the Romans came against him, the Romans said, wow, why would their God allow us to do something like this? Even the Romans knew it was the Most High that sent them, but they said, why would their God allow us to do something like this? Most High ain't no joke, man. Okay? When the Most High bring his judgment upon you, well, I'm telling you, man. All right? Go ahead.
Okay. Thus saith the Lord, with the sword, and with the famine, and with the pestilence, until I have consumed them by his hand. Therefore, hearken not ye to your prophets, nor to your diviners, nor to your dreamers, nor to your enchanters, nor to your sorcerers, which speak unto you, saying, ye shall not serve the king of Babylon.
That's what they was telling the people. No, you're not going to serve the king of Babylon. We're telling you. And they were lying to the people. Okay, go ahead.
For they prophesy a lie unto you, to remove you far from your land, and that I should drive you out, and ye should perish. But the nations that bring their neck under the yoke of King Nebuchadnezzar and serve him.
No, read it again. Read 11 again.
But the nations that bring their neck under the yoke of the king of Babylon and serve him, those will I let remain till in their own land, still in their own land, saith the Lord, and they shall till it and dwell therein. Speak also of Zedekiah, king of Judah, according to all these words, saying, bring your necks under the yoke of the king of Babylon, and serve him and his people, and live.
And that's what the Most High told him to do, that. Serve him and live. But Israel like, nah, we ain't serving no heathens, man. We're a sovereign people. We only serve Yah. You know, Israel, we only serve the Most High. But we weren't serving the Most High. We were doing wicked. We were being rebellious. All right, continue.
13. Why, excuse me, why will ye die, thou and thy people, by the word, by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence, as the Lord had spoken against the nation that will not serve the king of Babylon. Therefore, hearken not unto the words of the prophets that speak unto you, saying, Ye shall not serve the king of Babylon, for they prophesy a lie unto you.
And that's what they was doing. They were prophesying lies unto the people. Don't serve the king of Babylon. Don't do it. And the Most High told Jeremiah, go and tell them, go serve the king of Babylon. But no, not Israel. All right, go ahead.
15. For I have not sent them, saith the Lord, yet they prophesy a lie in my name, that I might drive you out, and that ye might perish, yea, and the prophets that prophesy unto you. Also, I speak to the priests and to all this people, saying, Thus saith the Lord, hearken not to the words of your prophets that prophesy unto you, saying, Behold, the vessels of the Lord's house shall now surely be brought again from Babylon, for they prophesy a lie unto you.
So they're lying to the people. Lying to the people, man. And the same thing goes on today with these preachers in the church that's lying to the people.
Come.
All right, go ahead.
17. Hearken not unto them. Serve the king of Babylon and live. Wherefore should this city be laid waste?
And it was laid waste. Nebuchadnezzar laid waste Jerusalem, man. Okay? Continue.
18. But if they be prophets, and if the word of the Lord be with them, let them now make intercession to the Lord of hosts, that the vessels which are left in the house of the Lord and in the house of the king of Judah and at Jerusalem go not to Babylon. For thus saith the Lord of hosts concerning the pillars and concerning the sea and concerning the beasts and the bases and concerning the residue of the vessels that remain in this city.
Okay, that's it. Now go back to Psalm 17 now. All right, so he's just showing you how the Most High used Nebuchadnezzar and how he used all the kingdoms of the earth to bring about what he wants during the earth. All right, so David is going to show you the same thing here. All right, so read
that 14?
Read 17
Is that 14?
and 14 again.
Okay. Psalm 17 and 14. For men which are thy hand, O Lord, for men of the world which have their portion in this life, and whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasures. They are full of children, and leave the rest of their substance to their babies. As for me, I will behold thy face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake with thy likeness.
All right. So now we're gonna move from there now. I saw like a video when it was yesterday about Jerry Springer. Everybody know about Jerry Springer? He died, right?
God.
But you know he died, right? And he left all his inheritance to who? Yeah, to his black children.
His black children.
Yeah. He had some black children by this sister. And he left everything to them, man. He left his properties, estates,
Get out.
money. He left everything to them. That's amazing, man.
Wow, that is.
So he did a video and said that, you know, he apologized for what he did, being a coward and everything like that. And he said, man, for that, I left everything to you. My estate, he had in Alabama, in the different states, he left everything to them, man.
Wow.
That's the first time I've seen an Edomite did that, man.
Yes.
I gotta give him credit for that, though. You know what I mean? Because most Edomites like, I ain't giving that nigga nothing.
That's right.
But he left everything to them. His will, all his riches, he left to them, man.
And what about his family?
They said they gotta go get their own. They made their own money.
protested or nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, white daughter. But he said he told him they could go and make money. But he said because his wife was trying to blackmail him that if he came out and said something about it, she was going to expose his infidelity of him having black children. So he did a video and came out and before he died with his lawyer, and he said he left and will everything to his black children.
Wow.
Everything, man. I think he had one or two of them, and he had 2 children. So they got their reparations right there, boy.
God.
I guess he had his life.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he left everything. That's the first devil ever seen did that, man. He left everything, man. And he had a lot of property and real estate, man. A lot of money, too.
Wow.
He made a lot of money in his lifetime, Jerry Springer,
I
man.
didn't hear that.
And he left everything to them, man.
Get out.
Yep. I was like, wow, that's amazing.
amazing,
though.
yeah.
That's amazing, man. You know? But it shows you, man, that life could be funny, man. You know what I mean? Life could be strange, man. You know?
Well, that's very strange.
That's a strange thing, man.
I don't recall that ever happening.
I guess that was the most side, like, tapping and said, listen, man, before you die, man, leave all your riches to those children, man. You know? Because most Edomites don't do that, man. They hide it, man. You ain't getting nothing, you know? But that just shows you, too. What I saw from that, too, is showing you we're at the end of our captivity, man. And that's a sign to show you that we're going to inherit all the riches of this earth. And everything that this devil did to us, you have to pay back and give back to us, man. I mean, so that's a sign that they're coming to the end. And they're coming real fast to their end. And everything that they have, they're going to give it back up. The Most High said, all that the wicked have, he's putting it on to give to the righteous.
Come.
All right? Yeah.
Yeah, but those kids are his kids.
Yeah.
Edomites.
Yeah, Edomites, yeah. Edomites with black skin.
Black face.
Yeah. You understand? So the daddy left him a lot of inheritance,
But
man.
he didn't know that.
No. You know?
He didn't know that. Nah, I don't think so.
Because the brothers up there in his shows probably spoke about that too. So he probably listened to all those things too.
Yeah.
You know? A lot of that probably hit his conscience too when the brothers were on Jerry Springer's show. I think that was and Montel Williams was the first show. No, it was Richard Bay.
Richard Bay, yeah.
Jerry Springer. No, Montel and Jerry Springer. Yeah. Yeah. So when I said, wow, that's amazing, man. You know. But something I want to show you too. But what I got from that too is that Esau is coming to his end, and we're very close to our kingdom, man.
Come.
And they're gonna give up everything that they have taken from us, man. All right. So I want to show you another prophecy too of events and things how the Most High works in the earth. Let's go to Ezekiel, the 38th chapter. I want to show you something in Ezekiel 38. All right. Because this is going to be the next major event to hit the earth. What's coming here? Ezekiel 38, and let's start from the top.
Ezekiel 38 and 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog and the land of Magog.
All right, so it says, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog. All right? So, who is Gog? Who is Gog? Right? Gog was one of the sons of Japhet. All right? It was the sons of Japhet. But who is playing that role of the sons of Japhet today? Now, what nation today is playing that role of Gog? Right. Russia. Russia and China. Russia and China is Gog and Magog combined. These are the two forces that's going to be together. All right? Set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, which today is the land of Russia. what they call Russia. All right? Go ahead.
The chief prince of Meshach and Tubal,
The chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. All right? Go ahead.
and prophesy against him.
And prophesy against them. Now, Ezekiel, the prophet, was prophesying against them. Now, during the time of Ezekiel and all the prophets, Gog and Magog was nowhere on the scene ruling. All right? So Ezekiel was prophesying a future event in our lifetime because they was not around during the time of Ezekiel the prophet. Gog and Magog. Okay? They were not ruling powers in the earth. Okay? Because Japhet at that time was not a ruling power. Okay? All right, go ahead.
3. And say, thus saith the Lord, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back.
So the Most High is going to turn them back. How is he going to turn them back? Turn them back from what?
Your own plan.
Right. Because they were following up under the American way of system of governing. So the Most High is going to turn them back from that and turn them back to the old way of communism. All right? Because when the CIA got in there, remember Russia was broken up. Remember when Russia fell apart, that was due to the fact of the CIA, when they had Gorbachev and all these different guys in there. So when Putin got back in there, Putin said, no, the days of that is over. Putin changed that. Putin said, we're not following none of you guys in the Western world.
Come.
All right? Because Gorbachev, what's the other one before Putin? Who? The one before Putin. It was the one. You had a couple guys there before Putin. And Gorbachev was during the time of Reagan. All right? Then you had
Stalin.
you're going way back. That's way back. Yeah, around there to drink. What's his name? The one that looked like a Chinese. Not Gorbachev. It's I forget his name. Not Brezhnev. No, he was there like in the 90s. Boris Yeltsin. Yeah, Yeltsin. They were following up under the American way of doing things. All right? And then when Putin came in, Putin said, no more of that crap. Putin changed all that crap because they were following the CIA dictates and everything. All of them were set up there by the CIA is the one that overthrew Russia during that period. And when Putin came back in power, Putin changed all that crap. Putin got the Illuminati out of there. He got all the ruling families, kick them out of Russia. Get the hell out. You're not going to dictate no more policies to us. So from that point now on, Putin and Russia is on a different wavelength of doing things. All right? So read that verse again.
Okay, 4, verse 4. And I will turn thee back.
So the Most High is going to turn them back. He's going to turn them back to the old-fashioned way that they used to govern under. Go ahead.
And put hooks into thy jaws.
So hooks is an example of what? When you put hooks in somebody's jaws,
Control.
right, you're controlling them. All right? So that's a spiritual hook the Most High is putting into them. All right? When you go fishing, you get a hook and you hook a fish, right?
Right.
Or when you have a horse, you put bits and bridles in his mouth to control him. So the Most High is putting hooks in them now, spiritual hooks, to steer them in the direction that he wants them to go into now. All right? So read that verse again.
Okay. Ezekiel 38 and verse 4. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords.
They're going to be well equipped with high-tech weapons to fight this war. Okay? And they're going to bust Ukraine down. Don't worry, just a matter of time. They're playing a stalling game with Ukraine, but eventually Russia is going to drop the hammer on Ukraine. Okay? Go ahead.
5. Persia, Ethiopia, Libya, and them, all of them, with shield and helmet.
Okay, now. So now let's stop right there now. It says Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them. So who is Persia today now?
India.
Iran.
Oh, Iran.
Iran. Iran. Because remember, when you go back, look it up. Go back to 1936, when Shah Pahlavi II changed Persia to Iran. Google it and look up Shah Pahlavi II. And he changed Persia in 1936 to Iran. He changed the name from Persia to Iran.
Yeah.
Look it up. Google it. Anybody find it, pull it up and you see. Shah Pahlavi II, 1936. And you see Iran was changed from Persia to Iran.
Never changed the water right next to it, still called the Persian Gulf.
Right. It's called the Persian Gulf. Yeah. Anybody got it? Who has it? Who pulled it up? Look up Shah Pahlavi. 1936, Iran changes its name from Persia to Iran. Anybody find? Just let me know. No, he was Iranian. Pahlavi. But you got a lot of so-called Jews in Iran too. Because remember how they ended up there. How did Israelites end up in Iran? From Esther, during the time of Esther.
In the ice.
All right, and you still have some of them over there too, and that's where the so-called Jews lie over there too, because they're clinging on to that history too.
Put in the fridge.
It look like Gabriel has it. You got it? Caledonia has it?
Was the Iranian military officer?
Mike.
I think he was Shah. His name is spelled
more.
S-H-A-H.
P-A-H-L-A-V.
Yeah, Pahlavi, yeah.
Former Shah of Iran.
No, the fruit.
And what it says,
They call him Reza. Shah Pahlavi. Persian. March 15, 1878 to died in 1944. Politician who served as Minister of War and Prime Minister. First Shah of the House of Pahlavi of the Imperial State of Iran. Then he called it Iran. And father of the last of Shah of Iran. The last of the Shahs of Iran.
right, and
Reigned
it,
from December 15, 1925 until he was forced to abdicate by the Anglo-Soviet invasion of Iran in September 16, 1941.
and they give nothing about him changing it from Persian to Iran.
In the mid-30s, the ruler of the country, Reza Shah Pahlavi, moved forward to formalize the name Iran instead of Persia for all purposes.
Right. So, and wait, as under who? Shah Pahlavi, right?
Reza Shah left Pahlavi.
Right. And it tells he changed it from Persia to Iran. All right. So Persia today represents Iran. All right. But the Persian Empire did incorporate all of Iran and East India. But the main base was in Iran when the Persians ruled it. That was their main base in Persia, which is in Iran. And that's what we were during the time of Esther, up in Iran. All right? So Persia represents Iran. So Iran, Ethiopia, and Libya is going to be joined with Gog and Magog and China. All right? Remember, Libya was also joined Gaddafi. He was hooked up with Russia. Ethiopia gets supplied by the Soviet Union. Yeah, starting from the 70s, they became allied with the Soviet Union. Right? Right after H.O.D.C died, then they went to join forces with the Soviet Union. Because what year did H.O.D.C die? He lived a long time too. Yeah, 75. Died in 75. And right after that, Ethiopia became a part of the communist bloc. So these three countries is going to be joined with Russia. All right? So read that verse again.
Verse 5. 6. Gomer and all his bands and the house of Tagamar.
So these are the other European nations that's going to be joined with Russia. All right, go ahead.
Of the north quarters and all his bands and many people with thee.
And many people is going to be joined with them. All right, go ahead.
Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them.
And what does it mean when it says, and be thou a guard unto them? What does it mean by that when it says, be thou a guard unto them?
You want to protect me?
Right, protect. You're going to give weapons and arm them.
Mm-hmm.
Just like America give arms and weapons to Israel and to all their allies, Russia is going to be a guard unto all these nations. They're going to be in league with Russia. Russia is going to supply them with weapons, tanks, planes, everything they need for this war. This is going to be a hell of a war, man. Okay, go ahead.
8. After many days, thou shalt be visited.
After days mean years. But the way the prophet put it, days, meaning for a long time. Because during this time, during the time of Ezekiel, this never came to pass. All right, go ahead.
Okay. In the latter years,
In the latter years, he was prophesying about this. All right, go ahead.
thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword.
And what is the land that's brought back from the sword? Jerusalem, Israel. That's the land that's brought back from the sword. In the latter years, you're going to come into the land that is brought back from the sword. All right, go ahead.
And is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel,
See that?
which have been always waste.
See, the land was waste. All right, go ahead.
But it is brought forth out of the nations,
Which is the nations, Judah and Israel, the southern and northern kingdom. All right, go ahead.
and they shall dwell safely, all of them. Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land.
See, they're going to be like a cloud covering the land. There's going to be so much of them. Right? Go ahead.
Thou and all thy bands, and many people with thee. Thus saith the Lord power. It shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into my mind,
Into thy mind.
and thou shalt think an evil thought.
And they're going to think an evil thought. All right? But we're going to leave it here, and we're going to continue this the next time. So I'm going to leave you on a little suspense. All right? So I say shalom.
Shalom.
Shabbat class to be continued at the next further date. All right? Shalom.
Shalom.